Hello! I'm wearing my green jumper. It's the color of money, and I wanted to give you some unsolicited money advice. And it's just based on recent experiences that I've had, which have proved to be a real hindrance, and maybe that might, prevent a similar issue occurring to you. Um, just a little over 2 weeks ago, I transferred some money from one of my accounts onto another one of my account. Nothing dodgy about that whatsoever. However, the bank has got a number of automated processes in place, and it incorrectly identified this as a potentially fraudulent transaction, and it blocked it. Now, in itself, that not so much of a problem. What I didn't realize immediately, though, is that it wasn't just that one transaction that was blocked, but it's actually the whole of my account. And I'm referring to my main current account here. So I got onto the bank immediately by phone. I reassured them that there wasn't anything untowards, and talked about different things with them, etc. Unfortunately, it was too late. And whenever a situation like this occurs, it just goes on to an investigation team, and their investigations are carried out on a first come first serve basis. So of course I was at the end of the line, so to speak, and there really wasn't anything I could do. I spent a great deal of time on the phone speaking with different people the day it happened. I also went into town, into a physical branch of that bank. Again, they just couldn't do anything. And that was really frustrating because, for different reasons, actually, I had just transferred a sizable amount of my savings into that account because I had big expenses coming up. Some which, well, I obviously knew about already. Then there were some further expenses that I didn't know about, and also that same day that it happened, my monthly salary had been transferred into my current account. So I found myself with a nice balance, knowing that all of the money was going to get allocated to different purposes, and I couldn't access it. So that was super frustrating. I did, however, so that's tip number one, find out that it is possible to have an increase on the amount of money that can be withdrawn from an ATM. And so instead of, I think the usual amount is about £250, I've had my daily limit increased to £1,000, and that was super useful. So I was able to withdraw some money that day, and also going back, I was able to withdraw money from another cash machine the following day. And what I actually had to do there was to transfer the money onto another account, but I did that by depositing cash. And it was so very useful to have another current account. So that's my tip number two. It's have two current accounts. There are loads of products out there where there is no monthly charge, no fee payable to the bank. So you can just have an account open. It may be in a dormant state, it doesn't really matter. I found it super useful because it's enabled me to continue being able to do some money transfer to different people without actually having to hand over cash and go see them in person, etc. So yeah, super useful. And all of this actually reminded me of another situation which occurred a few years back, when I was a new customer with a credit card provider, and I'd opened that credit card knowing that I was going to have some big purchases and I wanted to unlock the perks, and I did. But unfortunately, the bank felt that maybe this was a fraudulent transaction, even so it happened physically in person with me entering my PIN. Anyway, in a similar situation, the credit card was blocked, and what happens is, again, it needs to be investigated. It took over a month before it wasn't blocked, and yeah, that was just really frustrating again. So with that, I recently applied for a second credit card, so now I have two. So essentially, if something were to happen to my main credit card, I now have a backup and it just gives me that reassurance. Again, there are loads of credit cards where you don't need to pay an annual fee. I would recommend having two cards if it's not going to harm your credit score. Just go for it. It's just, just makes sense. It just gives you greater peace of mind. Now, I seriously and sincerely hope that you'll never need to use any of your backups, whether they're current account or credit cards. But it's just better to be prepared in my experience. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.